Hello, and welcome back to the Mafia Scum Modern Super League. We've got a match for you tonight between Kdowns and Klazam. And doing commentary for this is going to be Pseudo and Panzer, so I'm going to pass it over to them.
Guten Tag, hallo, and wie geht's?
All right, so we have Blue Moon here versus Goryo's Vengeance, and I think this match goes a little in Kdown's favor, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, Kdowns got the control, and if he can pick apart the combo pieces, then he should be in luck. But he doesn't really have any main board graveyard hate, and that can make it really difficult to stop this combo. Especially,
What did I think? A couple of negates is it, right? Like he's running cryptics, he's running mana leaks, spell snares.
yeah, but the Goryo's expertise combo is not as is more resilient than most people seem to think, especially because Through the Breach and Goryo's Vengeance are both instant speed, so you can drop them at the end of your opponent's turn. They tap out to counter it, then your next turn you untap and just go again. It can be a really hard thing to try and stop.
And but the Blood Moon shut off a lot of lands, like all but one land of his. Oh no, all but two lands of his.
Yeah, but Through the Breach only requires red mana. Kerry Zev's expertise only requires red mana. He really only needs the one black mana.
Oh yeah, because Kerry Zev's right. That's the third. Right, that's the or the third spell, right? Yeah, there's actually a lot of tricks in. Okay.
Yeah, so I mean he can run off almost entirely red mana, so the Blood Moon is not going to hurt him as much as you might think.
Okay.
Which is kind of odd to say about a three-color deck that has such a greedy land base, but it's just red mana just doesn't hurt as much. So
okay.
It is going to be very draw dependent. It is going to be whether Klazam is going to be able to force through, like a Through the Breach or a Goryo's Vengeance, whether by exploiting the instant speed stuff or just getting a bad draw from Kdowns. But if Kdowns can get his counter spells all up and can just counter everything, then that's his route to victory, basically.
Hmm. Yeah, engineered explosives isn't going to do anything. So it's mostly just the lightning bolts aren't going to do anything. Electrolyzes, I don't think either, right?
Yeah, that's one of the other bonuses to playing Goryo's Vengeance deck, is that a lot of answers like Lightning Bolt and that are standard answers against most decks just don't really do a whole lot against the Goryo's Vengeance combo.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you bolt?
Yeah, half this deck is going to have to get. I don't know, unless he's just going to go face with all that stuff, which is not, I don't know, not the fastest win when you only have, what, 8 burn spells? 7?
Right, and that's going to be another problem that Kdowns has. His deck is very slow. It's trying to get down to lock with the Blood Moons and the counter spells. Blood Moons aren't going to be that effective a lock piece. The counter spells are going to be somewhat iffy. And the Goryo's Vengeance deck can be very fast. It can go off as quick as turn 3 or 4. So, I mean, a slow, grindy win con like Kdowns could be problematic.
Okay, yeah, have them draw. Sorry, like I was just trying to kill time while they were drawing there. I just want to see. I just want to see their hands as well. Sorry, a lot of dead time there.
Like a zombie clock, we're full of dead time. All right, so Kdowns is on the play, and he's got two lands here, 3 Snapcaster Mages, but no spells to go with them. He's got the Blood Moon, which, as mentioned, is not that great. Torrential Gear Hulk. I don't think this is a hand with very much action.
Yeah, he has to throw this unless he's planning on winning with a bunch of 2-1s. Like,
right. I mean, I mean, I suppose you can go on the beatdown plan, but it's uninspired.
Yeah, especially against Klazam, who can win on turn 3 if he's like completely uninterrupted.
Klazam, on the other hand, actually has the combo, but he doesn't really have any way to get to it. He's got the Collective Brutality, he's got Emrakul, he's got Goryo's Vengeance, all of which, that's a combo to get Emrakul down, but with only 1 land and no Simian Spirit Guides, he's basically just gambling. So it looks like
and no swamps either. Yeah, Klazam definitely mulligan. I'm not all the way sold on the Klazam mulligan, to be honest.
So Kdowns mulligans. He's now got 3 lands. He's got the Serum Visions to set up. He's going to have the Scry to go with it. He's got the Blood Moon and the Cryptic Command. So he's got some potential action here, and he's going to keep it. Kdowns also keeps. He's got 3 lands. Sorry, he's got the Collective Brutality, Gristlebrand, Karizev. So
yeah, Klazam. Yeah, okay.
1 or 2 draws away from being able to go off on turn 3. So
the interesting thing is I believe the last 2 games that Klazam had, Karizev's was a dead card, or like not an all the way dead card, but a mostly dead card. Because he could have used it on me, but he couldn't use it at all on, I believe it was you with the Goryo's Vengeance deck.
Right, Karizev's is problematic in that it does require a target, unlike say Strom's Expertise. So you do have to have something to target with it. So it can be your own creature, unlike a lot of these effects. But against decks like Kdowns that don't really play a lot of creatures, that can be a problem.
Yeah. Because I feel like if he just if he doesn't play a guy, like KZ is just dead. And he can win without really playing a guy too often.
Right, that's why you see a lot of these Karizev decks play something like play Forbidden Orchard, just to force a creature into play.
Oh, got you. Because he can use it on his own guy, right? Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't say enemy creature. A lot of these steal effects, like Mark of Mutiny, say it specifically in a creature and enemy controls, but Karizev's Expertise does not.
Okay.
So basically, as expected, we see the Island and the Serum Visions from Kdowns on turn 1. And that's going to get the Cryptic, another 4-mana counterspell. So this is kind of what I was talking about with the being able to go off at instant speed. Cryptic Command costs 4. So Kdowns is almost certainly going to have to tap out to play it. So if he goes off, if Klazam goes off the end of Kdowns' turn, he has to tap out to counter it, and then his shields are down if he tries to go off again.
Cryptic is not the best counterspell here, but it's a great spell. Like, don't get me wrong, it's just like not great when you're got to counter 8 spells or you lose.
Right. If you can play draw go, it's fantastic. In this matchup, it can be a little iffy. Karizev's is a sorcery, so that could be a problem since he can only go off on his own turn, but it's still basically your only counterspell for that turn.
Yeah. I haven't really seen a lot of this Collective Brutality card. How does that really function? Other than because I know he's gonna escalate to discard Gristlebrand's. Like, I understand that, but other than that, like, what's its function? And it's just like disruption and a little bit of.
Yeah, it's great in these combo decks because escalate, discard a card usually doesn't hurt the decks that want it. And it functions as disruption because you can force a discard. You can usually kill a creature with it. And drain can be relevant.
Okay.
So it's just a card where all three modes can be very useful. And
crack and fetch at the end of the turn.
Yep. Nothing too.
Here comes Faithless Looting, I think.
Yeah, no reason not to play it. You want
to
your combo pieces here.
Yeah, draws 2, probably pitches Brand, and I don't know what else. Probably one of the Karizevs, right?
Yeah, almost certainly one of the Karizevs, and then the Gristlebrand. Although now he's got through the breach, he might go on the Gristlebrand. We'll see.
There goes Karizevs. Ooh, I don't like that.
I think that works actually because he wants to be going off at instant speed, so he wants to be playing his Through the Breaches and Goryo's Vengeance and not his Karizev's. And Kdowns is probably not going to give him a target for the Karizev's anyway. So I mean,
I agree with all that, but my only thing is he pitches 2 spells that can make him go off for 1. You know what I mean? Like he had 3 ways to go off in his hand, and now he only has the 1.
Right, but it was 2 bad ways, and Karizev's is not currently has no target.
Okay, yeah.
So I mean, they're basically dead cards at the moment.
Okay.
And he's still going to need the Goryo's Vengeance in order to actually go off with Karizev's anyway.
Okay. Here comes, I believe that was Sulphur Falls, right?
Yeah, so he just drops the land and passes.
All right. Some more Drago from Kdowns. Pops the fetch again. We're at 18. It's probably going to be a Steam Vents, right?
Yeah, probably. He's just going to get the blue. I mean, he's got the island in hand, and I don't think he needs more than 1 blue source. But
then it could be anything, yeah. Might as well grab a swamp, actually. Can you grab a swamp off that? No, because Scalding Tarn.
Scalding Tarn, no.
Yeah.
But grabbing just a basic mountain doesn't really matter all that much either.
No, so, grabbing a basic mountain is worthless. Yeah, here comes Steam Vents. Untap. Draw. Breaking Entering. Is Breaking Entering, or is Breaking the only spell that Spell Snare snatches?
If he hits, yeah, I think at the moment it's the only relevant spell. He can get Goryo's Vengeance as well, although Klazam hasn't drawn one yet.
Goryo's is, I thought, well, it's not 3 CMC or 2? Might be 3. Because I think I said it was 2 last time, but it's actually 3. I believe I got it wrong last time I was on here. Yeah, it's 2. All right, it's definitely 2. All right. Another Drago, another Pluto Delta.
Yeah, kind of slow-paced action. Klazam is just trying to assemble the combo pieces. Kdowns.
There's the swamp.
Right. Yeah, that's probably just for Blood Moon protection. He doesn't want.
Yeah, now he has
get locked off completely off.
Now Blood Moon's probably done, right? Because he doesn't have anything that takes more than 1 source.
Right, as mentioned before, Blood Moon is not that great against Klazam's deck anyway because he only really needs 1 black source and 1 blue source.
Right, and he has them both.
So yeah, now he has them both anyway. So we're just going to see the Collective Brutality here. I imagine he's just going to be taking a peek. Except we're going to see the Cryptic Command anyway, so it's not going to matter.
Weehaw. Goodbye. Because, yeah, he doesn't want him to even get the information, right?
Right, and he wants to draw the card here anyway because he's basically got no action in his hand. He's got counter spells, but nothing else. So he's hoping to draw into like a Torrential Gearhulk or something so that he can try to put some pressure on Klazam.
Of course. Sounds good.
So that
Torrential Gearhulk is a cryptic command at this point, right?
Sorry?
Torrential Gearhulk is a cryptic command?
Yeah, basically. Torrential Gearhulk is going to be another cryptic command now.
Yeah.
But I think basically he realizes he has to get some action going because he can't give Klazam all day to draw into his combo.
Yeah. Okay. And Gearhulk's the only thing that's going to put him on any type of clock, right?
Gearhulk will Snapcaster Mage, kinda, but I mean,
10 turns is a lot.
Well, yeah, but he's got Burn in his deck, so I mean, it's not insignificant. And Gristlebrand is going to clock himself for 7, so I mean, the damage could be.
Yeah, because he's technically working on a 7 unless he pulls an Emrakul, right? He has a 13 health. There's old Emrakul. my dear friends, Emrakul.
Right. But he does have the Cathartic Reunion to pitch the Emrakul and the Gristlebrand. So, I mean, he's basically just looking for a Goryo's vengeance.
He's not gonna toss the Emrakul here though, because he has to. The discard's a cost, so he's pitching probably Breaking and Gristlebrand, right? Oh, good call. Wrong mana. Nice catch. Well, doesn't that shuffle everything back into his library?
Yeah, that'll shuffle the graveyard. He's not going to be too happy about that, but I'm guessing he has to get the action, so he's just going to do it.
Okay. Sounds bad. Sounds not good.
Yeah, so the interaction here is he's trying to figure out if he shuffles his Emrakul and the rest of his discard pile into his deck before he draws or after.
Right, it's the layering, what the layering is of it, right? Yep. Because it's the last in, first out, right? Essentially.
Right, and in specifically this case, it's because it's part of the cost and not part of the effect. Emrakul.
Because Cathartic Reunion hasn't even. Yep, there it is. Spell Snare. Yeah, because it hasn't even resolved yet, which that's wild.
Right, and that's just Kdowns trying to keep Klazam off action for as long as possible.
Oh, that was wow.
So now he's sitting on Electrolyze and Lightning Bolt, both of which basically just go face.
Yeah,
that's
it. But he's not going to tap out for that, yo. He's going to play him on the back end.
Yeah, I imagine that he cycles Electrolyze at the end of Klazam's turn. And there's the Forbidden Orchard mentioned about to give Kari Zev a target, except that he already shuffled away his Kari Zevs.
Boy. It's looking kind of grim.
Klazam is in kind of a tough spot right now because he's only got the one spell against a pile of Kdowns counterspells. So this is kind of unfortunate for him as a draw.
Glimmer of Genius, some Scry 2, Draw 2. Ooh. What is that? What are two energy counters? I'm
that's from the Kaladesh block. There's a lot of cards that interact with these brand new little wing dings.
Okay. Is that going to be? That's not going to be anything in this deck, right?
No, he's playing this for the Scry 2, Draw 2. I don't think the Animal's going to do anything.
All right, sounds good.
And he's just going to play the Simian Spirit Guide as a 2/2 at this point, which I guess is totally fair given the position he's in.
Wow. Because he didn't want to try and burn through. Yeah, 4 mana with the
He's already got 5 mana on board. I don't think he cares very much about trying to get just the 1 mana off of it.
Yeah.
See the Glimmer of Genius. Kdowns continuing to dig for proactive action. And with the Electrolyzed Lightning Bolt in his hand, he's not at all concerned about the Simian Spirit Guide, I don't imagine.
No. I wouldn't think Simian Spirit Guide was going to get there from 20 anyway, or 17, I guess.
No, but it can provide some reasonable pressure. And you got to do something at some point to try to win. So
yeah, definitely. I don't know. I've never won a game before, so here we go. We see nothing. It's just do you got the scry on that? Like, do you got what he's looking at?
It looks like he's going to leave both cards on top. So in a second.
Wins. Oh, there's Torrential Gearhulk.
Yep, so he's got his 5th land, and he's got the Gearhulk, so he's 1 mana away from casting it. This is going to be, and he's got the land for that as well. He's also got 2 mana leaks up. He's 1 turn from having Cryptic and mana leak up. He's got Torrential Gearhulk with both Glimmer of Genius and Cryptic Command in the graveyard, so he's in a good position here to win.
Monkey's gone. Monkey's gone.
Not surprising. And because he's got the fifth land, he can kill the monkey and hold up Cryptic Command.
Yeah, the Mana Leaks get everything anyway, or get through the breach anyway. Anyway, whatever. Just land. Yeah, this is done. This is just the slow march towards a victory here for Kdowns, I think.
Yeah, this is just a case of Klazam just didn't get the cards he needed to start. He didn't draw into them, and he just kind of got left with a do-nothing draw while Kdowns got all of his answers. And yeah, so I imagine Kdowns is just going to grind this one out. Land 6, end of turn. I wouldn't be surprised to see him do something like a Torrential Gear Hulk for lightning.
Wouldn't he? Why not? Yeah, I thought he was just going to Gear Hulk at the end of his turn, or at the end of Klazam's turn.
Yeah, he's got the 6 mana up now, so he can just flash it in if Klazam doesn't do anything, and then he's got a beater to actually finish this game out with.
Guess we're not going to see it.
Yeah, that was just a shortcut there, just discarding the Scalding Tarn from hand and playing one.
Oh, okay. And this is all end of turn? Yeah, or no? Yeah.
Yeah, this is all on Kdowns' turn still. And he's actually just going to play the Gear Hulk right now and get Glimmer.
And get Glimmer, yeah. All right.
That is kind of weird, though, because it means that his shields are down for Through the Breach here.
Yeah. Yeah, because I thought he was going to play it on the end of Klazam's turn and not... Oh, well, yeah, there it is. Okay. Looks good. Sounds great. Game 1 to Kdowns. Bad hands. No hands, really.
Yeah, Klazam actually had Through the Breach Emrakul there, so I don't know why he scooped. But if Kdowns had just done that at the end of Klazam's turn, then yeah, he wouldn't have had anything.
Was that for sure? Because I wasn't really clear if that was Klazam's turn or not. Was that for sure Kdowns is like the beginning of Kdowns' turn?
The interface showed it was Kdowns' turn, and he played a land and then shortcutted for an island.
So yeah, but that happens all the time. That happens all the time though, where like it's like, oh, end of turn, boom, like there you go, and then the other guy's like, oh no, end of your turn. I just didn't see it being clear. Like I feel that was a failure to interface and not necessarily a failure to play on the end of Klazam's turn. But
all right, so sideboarding. It looks like Klazam is bringing in the. Looks like Klazam is going to disconnect briefly.
that's good. Sounds good.
But Klazam is going to be bringing in his Dispels and Spell Pierces to try
that makes sense.
His spells. It looks like he's bringing in Painful Truths because that's a card that's very good in the grindy matchup. I can't see at the moment, but I imagine Collective Brutality comes in as just an additional way to force through counter spells.
Wait, why Painful Truths?
It's just because it's a draw card. It's just really good in grindy matchups like against Blue Moon. Because as you saw, one of the Klazam's big problems there at the end of the last game was that he just had nothing in hand.
Yeah, it's goldfishing.
Painful Truths is a way to reload that can be very useful.
What comes out here what comes in for Kdowns? Because there's a lot of deadish cards in Kdowns' deck.
Right. I imagine we'll double check when we get back into the game, but I imagine Kdowns brings in Dispels and Negates and Vendilion Clicks as ways to get the combo cards out. Possibly Ceremonious Rejection as another counter spell card. That's probably all. Maybe Glimmer of Genius as another way to cycle through his deck and get to the actual useful cards.
What does Ceremonious Rejection take care of? Nothing, right? Or am I mistaken?
Oh, no, you're right. I'm confusing that for a different card. Yes, Ceremonious Rejection doesn't really do anything here.
Okay.
I guess if he tries to hard cast Emrakul, but that's never going to happen.
That's never happening. That's not. Well, it's not. Oh, I won't say. Oh, I've been disconnected.
Yeah, we had to remake a new game, so we're going to...
Okay. Sounds bad, but
Hold
okay.
on, all half dozen of you who are watching at best have reunits. Ding dong.
All right. So are we in or are we out? Oh, we're in. Here we go. So
Yeah, so we've remade the game. We're all back in.
right.
We're going to go right back into sideboarding, I think, and Klazam will be on the play. So we'll do that ASAP.
Yeah. Has the Blue Moon Mirror been played yet?
I don't believe it has, but you can look forward to Kdowns and Hascal doing their marathon session sooner rather than later.
Okay, sounds great. That's going to be a Sunday night game or a Sunday morning game, right?
You'd have to ask them.
All right, sounds good. I don't want to ask them. Yeah, I'm surprised at how little Kdowns has to really bring in.
Well, I don't think anybody in this particular round planned for the Goryo's Vengeance decks, so there's not a lot of graveyard hate running around.
Yeah, I think that's going to be probably more of an issue next time or next trimester.
Yeah, I imagine that everybody will remember that graveyards are a thing.
What was the Dredge nerf? Was it just Golgari Grave Troll being taken back out?
Grave Troll's gone, yeah.
Okay.
All right, so it looks like Klazam is bringing in Dispel, Spell Pierce, and Thoughtseize, all of which are expected. He's also taken out Cathartic Reunions and Breaking Enterings, and because of how much of a blowout they are to have countered. Kerry Zev's expertise coming out, or at least a one of, because of just how few targets it gives, as we saw in that last game. Painful Truths coming in for Simian Spirit Guides, because Painful Truths is really good in grindy matchups where you need to reload, and Simian Spirit Guide is bad in grindy matchups where you're going to have the mana anyway. Kdowns bringing in Dispels and Negates, because those are really good when you need counter spells. Electrolyze coming out because it's basically just a cycle for 3 mana that isn't all that great. Engineered Explosives coming out because it does nothing in this matchup. So, yeah, nothing unexpected in these. Basically just Klazam trying to bring in cards that will allow him to fight through Kdowns' counter spells, either by countering the counter spells or stripping them out of the hand. Kdowns bringing in cards that will fight the combo.
That aren't dead. Yeah, that just aren't dead.
Dead in this matchup, yeah.
Yeah, that's, basically. Roast. Target creature offline. Yeah, that's not going to do anything in this matchup either. What's that even for?
What is what for?
Roast.
Like
a one of roast. It's just just in case?
It kills Tarmogoyfs if they don't get all the way up to 5/6. It kills Death Shadows.
Okay.
At least it kills them early.
Okay.
So Klazam on the play, looking at his hand, he's got a one-lander. He's got in theory, he's got the Thought Seize to try to strip things out. He's got Faithless Looting to try to find more lands and to pitch his Emrakuls and Gristlebrand's. He's got Painful Truths to reload, but he's still looking at one land. So I imagine he mulligans.
Yeah, because that's a lot of discard for not a lot of wiggle room.
Yeah, he just doesn't have lands to actually, like, he can Faithless Looting into stuff, but he just doesn't have the lands to actually get anything done. And I don't think he wants to gamble on drawing lands 2 and 3.
Along with like having to discard 4 cards, like to get 4 cards. Like he doesn't. It doesn't seem like, I don't know. It doesn't seem like he has the 4 cards to discard here. Oh, there it is. 2 Serum Visions, a land, Collective Brutality, Guide, Gristlebrand's. So that's just, I don't know.
This is another hand that doesn't really do anything. He doesn't have blue mana for these Serum Visions. He doesn't have anything to do with this Gristlebrand, this Collective.
Oh, he's keeping.
I guess he's going to keep and hope. Kdowns, on the other hand, also mulliganed. He's got 4 lands, or 5 lands.
Whoa,
and the Blood Moon.
He's also keeping?
Yeah. So Kdowns' hand does actual nothing except have a lot of lands. So he'll have his mana.
And Klazam's hand does. No one does anything here. This is bizarre. Okay. At least, like, it's gonna make throwing down that Blood Moon might really be a thing, though.
Only because Klazam is has so much trouble with these hands, because he
has so much nothing. Yeah.
I am surprised that they're both keeping these hands, though.
Kdowns might skate on. Yeah, he might actually get away with this, like, a 6 land and a Blood Moon, but, like, man.
Yeah, Kdowns' deck really just wants the land, and he's going to lose to Mana Screw more than he'll lose to Mana Flood, so, I mean, it's not the worst keep in the world, but Klazam's keep, it seems really suspect to me.
Right, because if Kdowns has 6 land in his hand, that means he has 6 less land in his deck, so he can draw into the stuff he needs to draw, right? Whereas Klazam,
it's not that. It's more that he just kind of wants to drop a land every turn, and most of his spells are okay. So he's not too concerned about having a lot of lands because he wants a lot of lands anyway.
There's a land. He's going to keep that. Is he just pitching the guides or pitching the guide and the brand? Pitching the guide and the brand, it looks like.
I imagine he pitches brand, and I imagine he pitches probably a guide. So I don't think he wants to pitch either of these Serum Visions because he just drew the blue mana to play them, and they're also just really good for drawing into his action and filtering. Collective Brutality is probably going to be important because he's going to want to take a look at Kdowns' hand and try to strip away counter spells.
I'll try to strip away his boatload of nothing. Yeehaw.
Yeah, and we're going to see the Steam Vents into Serum Visions here.
Yep. This seems to be Klazam getting to where he needs to be. There's Dispel.
Yep. I mean, it takes out a Cryptic Command.
Yeah, it takes out Mana Leak too, but, you know. Yeehaw.
Yep. And Kdowns going to...
I didn't look at the scry. But Cap one, dipped one. Alright. Steam Events comes in. The funny looking Steam Events.
Battle for Zendikar, man. Kdowns still not looking at a counter spell in his hand, so if Klazam actually gets his combo pieces, he could very well just go off. Well, Kdowns has no shields up.
He has, and he has a lot of search. Oh, there it is. It's over.
The Vengeance. Get back the Gristlebrand right now if he wants.
Yeah, that's it. Wait,
and he's using the Spirit Guide there so that he can hold the spell up just in case.
Oh yeah, just because of Mana Leak, right? Because of the Mana Leak that's not there.
Yeah. He doesn't know what Kdowns has in his hands, but he wants to go off right now.
Yeah, good play. That's acceptable.
Yep, so this will be a Gristlebrand. He's going to draw at least 7. Nope.
This is going to be a scoop, right? Or
I mean, possibly. He doesn't actually have lethal on board right now, but he could. I mean, it's not that difficult to conceive drawing into it.
right, because he's going to draw 14 cards, right?
Yeah, he's going to draw at least 7, probably 14. Could even go to 21 because he's going up to 25 life.
I don't know about 21, man. I wouldn't go down to 21. Just in case there's two, you know what I mean? There's two. It's Sulfur falls into lightning bolt kind of thing. Like, I don't think anyone goes down to 4 there. Because that'd be a pretty bad way to lose.
Yeah, but I mean, sometimes you got to just take your shot.
Oh yeah, well he has plenty of shots here with 17 cards in his hands. No second Goryos though.
Yeah, that is kind of a weird. Yeah, he didn't draw a second combo, so he doesn't have the second Goryo's Vengeance or Through the Breach. So, I mean, he can't go off again, but he's got Breaking Entering. He boarded out his Kerry Zev's expertise, so that's probably not going to be as great. So, yeah, he's going to be in an interesting position here to choose from.
Because, yeah, right here it would only be entering. That's the action, right? Sorry, I'm like having a bending sideways to like look at this card. Because entering's just like put it in play with haste, right?
Yeah, entering would be the action part here, except that he doesn't actually have a target for it yet.
No, he only has. Oh, graveyard. Oh, yeah, fair enough. Or the mana to just enter. That's no good.
He actually can't play Breaking or Collective Brutality there, as pointed out, because he doesn't have any black mana.
Oh. Yikes.
So I guess he could try to looting into something here, I guess.
Yeah. Yuck.
Yeah, that's not the best draw 14 off Gristlebrand, as much as it feels weird to complain about drawing 14 off a Gristlebrand.
Here comes 2 more. Or 1 more. 1 more and a scry. They both went to the bottom, so there's there's another one. There's
I thought CC
let's look at 3 more cards. This is a surprisingly bad draw 14 so far.
Yeah, this hasn't been the greatest draws off Gristlebrand. He was really looking for some way to resurrect an Emrakul here. And he didn't get it Through the Breach. He didn't get a second Goryo's Vengeance. So, yeah, he's just going to have to discard down and be kind of sad.
Whoa, wait. What just happened? Why was Kdowns looking at the library? Klazam's library?
I imagine that was a mistake.
Oh, well, because it's just the library. He'll just shuffle, right? That's no big deal.
I'm going to leave that up for the judge to decide.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, we're going to get a judge ruling on here because somehow Kdowns managed to accidentally look at Klazam's library. One wonders how exactly he managed to do that by accident, but
Yeah,
kind of figuring it out. Looks like Kdowns is trying to peek at Klazam's graveyard, which in this matchup is totally fair.
yeah, that's a fine mistake. All right. It's not fine. It's not fine, but it's like that makes sense. Like that's a total fine like thing that could happen. It's a matter of what, half an inch, right?
Yeah, I mean it's a pain, but it looks like an honest misclick, and we're just going to continue here.
All right, looks great. Kdowns to play. Does Gristlebrand or does Blood Moon here do some work? He has to play it. Like he just has to play it, whether it does work or not. Because it doesn't, because he has Swamp in his hand. But like, you have to play it, right?
Have to play what?
Blood Moon, or I guess not. I guess you don't have to play anything. I guess you just sit there with Snapcaster Mage in your hand. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think he's at all concerned about using Blood Moon to do anything. Especially if you draw 14, yeah. So now he's got Goryo's Vengeance, but no targets for it. He can...
Faith is looting. Faith is looting.
Goryo's Vengeance.
Goryo's. Yep.
Do it with Dispel up, so I mean, I would be surprised if he doesn't do that.
It's definitely what's happening.
Instead.
Whoa, Thoughtseize. Oh, because his name's just gonna. All right, yeah, whatever. Sees the lightning bolt. Yeah, whatever. What's F6? What is this F6 thing? What is this meme?
It's Moto slang for passing.
Okay.
So yeah, he's gonna snare the lightning bolt off the Thoughtseize, which I guess saves him a life, or 4 life, depending on if he was going to do Snapcaster shenanigans with it. He's going to do that. I mean, he didn't have any counter spells anyway, so he could have just held up the spell there, but he didn't know that, so this gives him the information as well as getting rid of the... And now he's just going to go ahead and go off.
Yeah.
He's just going to... Looks like he's just going to show Kdowns the combo, and Kdowns is going to scoop.
Okay. Sounds right.
So now we go to game 3 with Kdowns on the play.
All right.
So game 1, we saw the game go basically perfectly for Kdowns. Kdowns managed to draw all his answers, slow down the combo, and grind out a win. Game 2, we saw Klazam just get all his action when Kdowns had no counters up to do anything about it. Game 3, we'll see what happens.
All right. We're back to sideboarding. I don't know. Oh, he's just double checking to make sure he doesn't have anything like special in there. Didn't forget something.
Yeah, he can. He can look in just to make sure.
Yeah, you can double check. Like it's a sideboarding phase, but I thought he had everything in already.
I think he's just going to try to reconfigure his deck a little bit because he's now on the draw. So he's going to bring in stuff like he's going to bring in a Simian Spirit Guide and a Collective Brutality to just try to give him a little more speed, and he's going to take out the Painful Truths. I'm not quite sure why he's taking out Painful Truths because that's usually better in the grindy matchups, but I think he's just trying to maximize how much speed he's got when he's on the draw.
Okay.
All right, Kdowns has 3 lands. He's got Cryptic and Mana Leak for counters. He's got Glimmer of Genius to draw into more actions. He's got Blood Moon, which may or may not be relevant, but based on the last 2 games, probably not. This would probably be a fine keep, I think. And
Yeah,
indeed, it
man.
keeps.
Yeah. Mana
Klazam is
League,
also,
lands, draws. Yeah, that's fine.
yeah, Klazam is also going to keep. He's got 2 lands. He's got his Serum Visions. He's got Faithful Suiting, Goryo's Vengeance, and it's Through the Breach, so he's basically 1 piece away
Yeah,
from
no
being
target,
able
but
to
everything
go
else.
off with a bunch of draw spells in his hand. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's everything you could possibly want, at least in both their hands. Honestly, like this is good. This is going to be a good matchup. Like this is basically the test of strength here. Island Go, the best control play of all time. Island
OP. Nerf Plex. So there's the Simian Spirit Guide. That'll
Guide.
allow him to go off even faster. I imagine he's going to play the Serum Visions, though.
Yep, Serum Visions. Let's look for a Gristlebrand, ladies and gentlemen. Or Emrakul, rather. Emrakul, right? It has to be Emrakul. Yeah, Emrakul. Preferably Emrakul, but like really anything.
Yeah, he's basically he's got the Through the Breach, he's got the Goryo's Vengeance, he's got the Faithful Suiting for discard. He's basically looking just for Emrakul or Gristlebrand so he can actually go off here. He's also probably looking for something like Collective Brutality or Thoughtseize so he can try to get these counter spells out of Kdowns' hand before he goes off. That's more of a nice to have than an actual requirement for going off. So we'll see what he actually gets.
Academy Runes. What's going on with the Academy Runes in this deck?
Basically, it just gets back artifacts. Let me take a look at his list real quick.
I don't think he has any in his deck anymore. So he threw both of the collective or the explosive engineering and engineering explosives.
Yeah, engineered explosives is going to be the main target for those.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like the only target. It looks like it's just a one of in his deck to just so he can cycle engineered explosives if he wants. He got rid of them, but he kept the Academy Ruins because it still taps for 1.
Yeah.
Faithless Looting, he's going to pick up a Collective Brutality, which is something he was looking for in a Karizev's expertise, which he probably wasn't.
I just wasn't sure if there was any legacy style shenanigans happening with that Academy Ruins.
Nah, it's just a cheap trick. Against the decks where Engineered Explosives is good, 2 Engineered Explosives is generally really good.
Yeah, fair enough.
He's going to pitch a land in Karizev's,
okay,
which is not surprising. I imagine he's going to hold on to this Collective Brutality for use.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. Another.
Yeah. Ruins also buys back Torrential Gear Hulk. Probably doesn't matter because Torrential Gear Hulk probably just ends the game when it's played.
Okay, yeah.
Klazam doesn't really have a good way to kill it anyway.
Right. It's a thing, right? Yeah, it's an artifact, so.
Yeah, I don't think that's ever going to be relevant, but it is a thing that could happen. So yeah, just going to Serum Visions, just madly trying to draw into some action. Because he's got every part of the combo except the actual combo. Gets more land, but it leaves 1 on top, so I assume he's going to find something next turn. And we're just going to drop a land and go. Looting, more digging.
More digging.
Indeed, he's going to play it. He's going to try to dig some more.
Oh, there he is.
So now the only question is, whether he's going to
Collective
try to
brutality or
vengeance
not,
right now, or if he's going to try to wait till collective brutality to strip away something.
To look at those 2 mana leaks and go, oh no.
Yeah, I imagine he's going to be sad. He's using the Simian Spirit Guide here, presumably to try to represent the spell.
Oh, no. Straight in. Mana leak.
Going to go right for it. Mana Leak's going to come in. I assume that he was trying to represent the spell, but I mean, Kdowns is kind of required to play this Mana Leak no matter what, so I don't know why he bothered.
No, yeah, it's... You can't bluff a guy that goes all in, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you can bluff there, which looks like what Klazam was trying to do. It's just that the bluff doesn't do anything because that's a must-counter spell.
Yeah,
regardless.
you gotta play it. Yeah, he has to play it.
There's a Blood Moon. This is one of the few times against the Goryo's Vengeance deck where Blood Moon is relevant.
Oh, I'm so happy. I love when Blood Moon works. This is a good Blood Moon. Great Blood Moon. You spent 2 games telling me Blood Moon wasn't going to do anything, and it's here.
It usually doesn't do anything, and we saw in the first 2 games it actually didn't do anything.
But it's here.
Like I said, this is one of those rare instances where it does do something.
Just be happy it's here. Blood Moon, the best card in all of Magic the Gathering. Faithless Looting. Looking for an islands. Or not an island. It doesn't matter. Look for a swamp. Or looking for a nothing now. He didn't want to give up the other breach?
No, this is one of those strategies for fighting through counter spells that I mentioned earlier, which is that you can through the breach on the end of your opponent's end step.
And then through the breach again. Okay.
Through the breach again on your own turn.
Okay.
He's going to flash back a Faithless Looting here.
Whoa.
I assume just trying to look for more action because he needs that 5th land to actually play through the breach in the first place.
Okay. No, I got you. Okay.
This is one of those things I was mentioning about how Blood Moon isn't all that great. Even though he's screwed out of blue and black at the moment, he can still just play these through the breaches and
right. Through the breach is the thing that gets there, right? I got you. And he can't play Collective Brutality anyway, so it doesn't matter. He has to run with the 2 through the breaches at this point. There's an islands.
Yep, and he's going to play the island. He had to discard it through the breach there because he needed that 5th land in order to play any through the breaches in the first place.
Yeah,
so
but that gets...
going to be kind of sad about that, but there's not a whole lot you can do about it. So
he's going to be real sad about that when he sees Mana Leak. Oh no! Oh no! That's end of turn. End of turn.
Yep, end of turn Glimmer.
Okay. I was like, oh no, he's playing Glimmer on his turn. What's happening? Does this energy thing is this like a thing that stays forever, or?
Yeah, energy remains forever until you spend it.
Okay. Torrential Gear Hulk. All right. Now we're cooking with gas on Kdowns side.
Steam Vents as it come into play, tap Mountain. Yeah, and this is another position like in the first game where Kdowns basically has all the time in the world to just play his game, and there's not a whole lot Klazam can do unless he can try to force out this through the breach. It's interesting to note that technically Kdowns only has 1 blue source right now, so he can only play 1 of these counter spells. So
right. Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, so if Klazam can draw a second action, then he can use like a through the breach to draw the counter spell, and then with his blue source tap, he can't really do anything.
Yeah, because technically,
take another break for a second here.
Yeah, because technically, Cryptic Command's not playable right now because of Blood Moon. Oh, whew. That's actually nasty. That's a reverse nasty with the old Blood Moon. Because if Klazam wins here, that might be a case of Blood Moon, the worst card in all of Magic the Gathering. Unless Kdowns never reconnects. How does this guy have disconnect issues when I know he plays like competitive online games that need him to have stable internet?
And we're back.
All right, excellent.
Everybody remember their places? So there's an extra Emrakul, but it doesn't really do anything. He doesn't need a second one.
Yeah, he has Crystal Land, Emrakul. He has the whole works here, except for a way to get past Mana Leak.
Yeah, at this point, he's basically just waiting to either draw a second action spells to try to force through the spells, or for Kdowns to tap his blue for something. I don't know
there goes
that
Cryptic Convenience.
Yeah, not castable anyway. He's 2 blue sources away from being able to play it.
Oh, so he needs an island here for Gearhulk.
Yeah, he can't play Gearhulk either because he's 1 land short and a blue source away. So, yeah, this Blood Moon is hurting him as much as or actually probably more than it's hurting Klazam at this point.
Yeah, carry Zebs. Oh boy.
Doesn't do anything, unfortunately.
It's not gonna take out it's not gonna steal Gearhulk?
Well, I mean, if he plays the Gearhulk, but I imagine that if he plays Gearhulk, it's just game over. He's just going to flash it in, probably get Glimmer of Genius, and then swing, and then hit Klazam in the face with it. And then he's going to have counter spells up for this carry Zevs anyway.
No, but couldn't he flip in, like you were saying, like play the carry Zevs at the end step, and then play the through the breach during his turn?
Carry Zevs end step. Carry Zevs is a sorcery.
Oh, you're right. Oh, you have to play. Yeah, okay. You have to through the breach and then carry Zevs, right?
Well, I mean, you have to play carry Zevs on your own turn, and that's just never going to happen because he's always going to counter it. Because if he plays Gearhulk, he's just going to flash it in and end the turn. And then he's not going to have an opportunity to play carry Zevs when Kdowns doesn't have his shields up.
Yeah, no, I mean, wouldn't you try and play through the breach on the end of Kdowns' turn?
Sure. But
but that wouldn't do anything. Okay.
Yeah. You play through the breach, he counters. You untap, you play carry Zevs, and then you swing for 5, but then that's it. And there's a second through the breach. So now he's looking at an opportunity to actually try to force something through. And we're going to flash back another faithless looting. It's a very faithless game.
Okay, so at what point is he? Are you saying like the through the breach is he's gonna try to sneak the through the breaches through the counter?
I
The
imagine
counter spell
next
wall?
turn he's going to untap and say go. Depending on what Kdowns
Okay.
does, obviously, but Klazam is going to untap and then say go, and then at the end of Kdowns' next turn, when Klazam is untapped, he'll just play the through the breach for 5,
Okay.
let it get countered, and then play the through the breach again.
Would Kdowns counter it?
He can, but he's only got the 1 mana leak. So he can counter the first one, but then if he counters the first one, then he's out of blue sources to play any of his others because Spell Snare doesn't do anything against it.
Okay.
Looks like he's actually going to flash in Torrential Gear Hulk right now. I assume he's getting back a Glimmer of Genius with that. Yeah, so we're going to see Torrential Gear Hulk, Glimmer of Genius. I assume he's just going to, Klazam's just going to untap and pass so that he can try to through the breach.
Mm. He's gonna try to because he threw the breach to Gristlebrand, right? If he got through.
Well, you can do either one. I assume that he would just through the breach Emrakul because that's more of a game ender. But,
No, but at the end, because at the end of turn, wouldn't the Emrakul get sacrificed at the end of the turn?
No.
Because it says for the next end turn.
Right.
Okay.
You do it on the end step, and then you have your entire turn with the card you threw the breach in.
Sounds right. Looking for some stuff. More faithless looting. Oh.
All right, looks like he's going to faithless looting. And that's going to pick up a Dispel, which is going to be additionally useful for this through the breach fight he's about to go through.
Yeah.
So now, because he's probably not holding up more than 1 counter spell, he can, in theory, wait to through the breach until his next turn if he wants to try to surprise him with it. I don't think that's the play you want to go for, but it is an option. More judge questions about the timing of Emrakul's shuffle. This faithless looting is different from collective brutality because in collective brutality is part of the cost, so it goes on the stack before collective brutality or say resolves. In faithless looting case, it's part of the discard is part of the effect, so it doesn't resolve until after faithless looting is finished.
Okay.
We're going to see the through the breach right now, it looks like. So that's a little weird, but I guess he's just kind of hoping that he can get in there and that Kdowns won't have a counter spell. So this is kind of what I was talking about before. Instead of waiting until through the breach time, he's just going to try to slam it right now.
Oh boy.
So we're going to, bolt. Instead of countering, it looks like he's going to go bolt, bolt, snap bolt to deal 9 damage directly to Klazam's face.
Yeah, well, he still has negate. Yeah, so he's going to counter it too.
Yeah. So yeah, this turned out to be less of a counterspell fight and more of Kdowns just has a bunch of burn, so that's going to end the game right there. Because he's at 1 life and no way to block this Gearhulk or Snapcaster Mage on Kdowns this next turn. So that's going to be
that was
the match.
nasty. That was a little bit of gamesmanship at the end, I thought. But okay.
Yeah, that's a very difficult game that's hard for Klazam to win post-board. He should have had the advantage in game 1, but he got an unlucky draw. But after Kdowns can board out his irrelevant cards and board in his relevant answers, that becomes a much more difficult game for Klazam to win.
All right, do you want to sign it off?
Yeah, so Kdowns is going to go 2-1 over Klazam in a hard-fought match. It was interesting. There was a lot of interaction, a lot of mental chess there as both players try to figure out what to hold up and whether to go for it. Unfortunately, we saw that the hold back and wait for your opponent to go for it play was more valuable in this case, which is interesting strategically, but maybe not the most exciting thing of all time. Nonetheless, Kdowns pulls it out with some good answers and some good lines, and Klazam unfortunately just couldn't draw his way through the nest of answers.
All right.
And that's going to send it straight to our host and judge, Cow, to finish us off with anything he feels is relevant to say, I guess.
Yep, I think that's going to be our only match for tonight, so thank you for watching, and we hope to see you next time.